so excited. I've just been so jazzed about just getting this whole thing done. So, all right, so we're just gonna get started scribbling, okay? So I want you to, on this, first, feel free to just doodle this up. You're natural doodlers, you know, you have my permission, you just go ahead and doodle. But in this particular box right here, I just want you to do some scribbles, like that. Really simple, just, you know, 1 second scribble, right? Something like that, all right? Ready to get you going, pens on the paper. Right, okay, just all right? Okay. Brittany, those are the best birds I've ever seen.
Thank you.
They are amazing.
They're exactly that.
They are. They are birds. I can see the birds in there. Can you see? All right.
Yes.
See what we got going. All right. All right. So, you like my birds? Okay, you're like, oh, this is really going to be, no. Okay. Okay, so we're going to add a dot, a triangle, and 2 Y's to our scribbles, and we're going to have birds. Okay? So there's my dot. Kind of, maybe you want to put the dot a little higher. All right? And there's my triangle for the beak. And there's my feet. And I got a bird. See? Now we can do scribble birds. So you can draw. All right? So, all right, his eye is not in sequence, so there's his feet. I think this one looks like a duck.
My bird looks like a slinky.
Yeah. So, all right, so we got birds. See? Everybody, great birds.
That's a good bird.
All right, oh, love that bird. All right, okay. So who says they can't draw? All right, so we got birds. All right, see, so just feel free to just keep doodling on that sheet, just whatever comes out, whatever notes you want to take, you just keep scribbling, it's all good. So, because it just, we're just here to just help us be a little more visual in our note taking, and I'm just going to show you why it's just so much more effective. So, my name's Marsha Baker. I have been teaching here since 2001. I teach in the Accelerated Degree School of Professional Services, whatever we're called now. And I also teach at SOBE. So that tells you, so you're thinking, you're not hearing, MFA, right? No, I am actually a CPA. And I am not formally trained in art in any way, but I've always been a doodler, right? I have a degree in retail marketing, my undergrad, and it was 1982. It was probably before most of you were born. And the economy was really awful, and I really hated my job. And so we looked in the papers every week, and there were always ads for accountants. So I said, okay, I'll go be an accountant. Nobody ever said, like, a personality test is way before then, you know, like, I'm here, and accountants are here, but, you know, nobody told me that I couldn't do that. So, so if I found a way to integrate this into the accounting course, then anybody can do this. So this is a typical journal entry. So debit's on the right, credit's on the left. So trust me, I'm not giving you an accounting lesson. Just, you know, so this is generally how we teach. You know, we make a $100 deposit, and we take $25 out, and we have $75 left. You know, and so maybe you can get that one, but then we go on to the next one. But then when we get on to managerial accounting, it gets a little. We have a lot more accounts to deal with, and it gets really confusing. So this is how I teach my managerial accounting. So. And we sell Marsha's Famous Apple Cakes because God has such a sense of humor to give me my last name of Baker because I can't cook. I mean, I really can't cook. The best compliment my husband ever gave me was, in all the years we've been married, you've never made us sick. I recognize that for the compliment that it was. So anyway, so we make Marsha's Famous Apple Cakes. So we have apple sugar flour, we have Pam, we have eggs. Those are eggs, in case you're wondering. And then the flow is, we take most of it, we put it in work in process inventory, but then we have to take the Pam and put it in factory overhead. But then, we can't really see right there because in the picture, but there's a cake behind there. So they can see ingredients go in, cakes go out. So it's more visual to help them understand, because this is actually a very complicated process. So if I can use it, anybody can use it. So why sketchnoting? And I'm so excited you're here. So it's just gonna, Microsoft had a study in 2015 showing that the average attention span of a goldfish is 9 seconds. And in 2000, we had our attention span was 12 seconds. And in 2014, we've gone down to 5 seconds. And so all of this digital media is, and and just the way TV goes, and just, you know, we have such short little scenes, and nobody's doing any really deep language anymore, and any monologues on TV, that kind of thing. We're just getting little snippets. We are just losing our ability to think deeply. And so this is one way that we can bring that back. We can kind of unplug and help us be a little more deep thinker. So the theory behind sketchnoting is called dual coding. And I don't know how to say that. P-A-I-V-I-O. I don't know. Anybody speak Italian? I don't know. Have you ever heard? Anyway, so this is the guy that came up with this in 1971, that he realized that when we are both verbal and visual, we're using both sides of our brain. And so basically we're writing it on our brain twice. And then further studies have shown that the visual part is more deeply embedded in our brains. And so, so the results are that actually the act of sketching, doodling, drawing, whatever you want to call it, actually is helping us comprehend whatever it is that we're learning. And so, so it's comprehension, better synthesis, and then when we're done, we have faster recall. So now when you ask me what was the sermon on Sunday, I can tell you, except I was in children's church last Sunday, so don't ask me. But when I do, I can tell you what happened, and then we retain it longer. And especially when we go back and look at our notes, these are my sermon notes. So, you know, I can tell you what happened. Like, oh yeah, I remember that sermon, and so on. So anyway, I feel free to pass these things around. So anyway, so it's going to stick with you a lot better, and you're going to have just a much better understanding, and you should be able to think deeper when you need to. I mean, there's sometimes it's the meeting notes, you're just taking notes, but being more visual is just going to help you recall the details of that meeting, who said what and what we're supposed to do, and who was supposed to do what, and maybe who didn't do what, that kind of thing. So, so in effect, we are developing a new language, right? So we have this amazing language within us that we are not tapping into. So being visual, and I know most of us think like, oh, you know, graphic designers, or maybe architects or engineers, you know, maybe they need to be visual, but no, we all need to be visual. We all need to tap into this amazing resource that we have within ourselves. So it doesn't happen, just like learning a new language. So my husband is learning Spanish on Duolingo on the phone, and he doesn't like to wear headphones. It drives me crazy. So welcome. Thank you. So, you know, learning a new language, it doesn't happen overnight. So therefore, when we basically we're going to establish a visual vocabulary. That's what we're looking. But the cool thing is, so my husband can't remember, you know, a word. He has to keep going over it. Once we learn to draw something, generally we have it, and we don't have to go back and like, oh, unless it's a very particular, detailed something. But you know, I promise, once you learn to draw a dog, you got a dog. Once you learn to draw a cup, you got a cup. You know, and so your vocabulary is going to grow much faster, instead of having to like, oh, what was that word? I mean, sometimes you'll have to go look things up. And that's the other thing, is there's no cheating here. You can totally look things up on Google. You can, you know, I don't know how to draw that, so I'm going to leave a space, move on, you can go back and draw it later. So there's no rules here. It's whatever helps you learn better. That's what we're trying to accomplish. So just be patient with yourself, but it does take practice. So I'm just going to give you some ideas of sketchnoting. So just to get started, I just did this book report, not really a book report, but I read this book and I decided to sketchnote it. So Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. So just he had 10 points of just being more creative. So this was, you know, we'll see the slide again, and I'll kind of dissect it for you, and because there's generally kind of a process, and once we understand the process. So today is really just an introduction to let you know what it is and the tools that we use, and we're actually going to get started sketchnoting, but again, it does take practice. So this is some notes that I took on a webinar. I also teach at Liberty University online, and so we had a little webinar on teaching online. So as you can see, this one didn't really have a ton of little images, but just the way that I've broken up the data kind of just makes it more interesting, and it just helped me remember things better. So you could do a daily journal. So this is an artist named Maggie Jeffrey, and she likes to spend like an hour or two a day. I'm like, I wish I had an hour or two a day to do this, but I think this is the way she unwinds, and so she posts her journal every day. And so, you know, you don't have to be this in. You know, I keep another journal where just the daily things happen, and when somebody says something funny or something amazing happens, and you know, just amazing blessing or something, and then I will tend to just note that in my notebook. So, but I don't tend to write in it every day. Travel journal. So, Eva Lotta Lamb, Secrets from the Road, which I forgot to put this in your notes. Secrets from the Road. She went on like a 14-month journey through South Asia, and she drew a page every day. So you can actually get this as a book, but you can actually you don't have to buy the book. You can just go from secretsfromtheroad.com and be able to look at all her travel journals and just to see how she drew different things. So, or next time you go on vacation, do a travel journal, right? Don't do scrapbooking, just do a travel journal. So, here's my sermon notes. So I think this was from Harvester Christian. We go to all kinds of different churches because we do children's church. And again, I'll kind of dissect a sketch note to kind of just show you how you can make it flow for you. All right, HR or career services. How about a resume? Just saying. So this is I don't think she's a graphic artist, but so she does a little drawing, data design. I think she does more infographics kind of thing. But anyway, so this is her resume. So that's one way to do it. So, so I challenge you next time you go shopping. Draw 5 things on your shopping list, right? So you don't have to draw the really complicated things. You can just draw the really simple things. So, how about a recipe, right? I was sitting in the doctor's office waiting for my husband. So like I found that recipe, like, oh, I think I'll just sketch note that. So, because I was waiting forever. You could sketch note the menu for dinner, right? Just to practice. It's all about practicing. Because we're not creating museum pieces. We're not entering an art contest. We're just practicing. So I'm just trying to give you some ideas of where you could practice. How about in the classroom? How about your syllabus? That'd be crazy. Anyway, yeah. So my students kind of like this when I do it this way. And this is just a really simple example that I do when my students have a discussion. And this particular one they have to choose a publicly traded company. And this particular night, they have to write a big huge paper on it, but this particular night they're just kind of updating what's going on with their company. So I throw this up on the board and say, find your company and tell me all about it. And they look at me going, I don't know, because I try and get obscure on purpose. So for this one, Pepsi is getting into cell phones in China. Who knew, right? So he didn't know, the person that did Pepsi didn't know that. This was also the week that Amazon decided they were not going to New York. There was a plane crash at Boeing. This was a really good discussion because then we could see the financial results because Boeing stock went from like $400 down to $250 or something. And so they're definitely a huge impact. This was FedEx. Starbucks is starting to take Bitcoins. And it's a thing that people like milk in their Coke. Ugh. I can't even, but it's a thing. And then Walmart's being sued for $17 million. But it was a really good way to get a discussion started. And you see, like, there's no award-winning pictures up there, right? So I'm not going to frame that. But it's just so simple. Simple. So, but the best thing that I do is I sketch note their presentations. And this is just, and then I give it to them, you know? So I do cheat a little bit, and I do have the title already done, because it's only a 10-minute presentation, so I got to move fast. And I also have to rate them on their presentation skills as well, so I got to move fast. But this is very impactful for a student that I would take time to actually do this for them. So anyway, just to kind of get your ideas and just yeah, feel free to take pictures of anything.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
really, I like that.
Yeah, so. Yeah, so just giving you some ideas of how you can use it. So you all are taking notes, right? So, you know, you can just start doodling a little bit. I mean, and so even if sometimes there are topics where we're talking about things that are hard to draw, you know, it's like fear or creativity or emotions and that kind of thing. And like, so, you know, so just doodle it on the side is fine until we get a little more comfortable with actually assigning an image to that. So We're not gonna be there today, so let's see, I'm probably like missing my notes here, so. All right, oh yeah, we're on to tools next. I think that's where we want, yes. So you need to decide your tools. You need to decide if you're an iPad person, you know, that's totally fine. Just the process of writing and drawing, whether it be on paper or on an iPad, is fine. You get the same effect. If you're going to use an iPad, the apps to use are called Procreate, which I think I have this here in your notes, Paper by 53, and Concepts, and they're all about $10, but they're very, very powerful apps. I'm not a big iPad user. I have one, but I tend to not use it much. I'm a very analog person. I'd rather draw. And so, anyway, so it's a total option. And as you follow more people that do sketchnoting, you're going to find a lot of people are moving over to the iPad because it's already digitized. You don't have to worry about, because that's the thing, you get this all done and then you try and like, how you're going to scan it, and then you can see, it magnifies every little mistake you made. So, you know, so getting it digitized and getting it out there, yeah.
Is your presentation digitized or handmade and then scanned?
This is handmade and then scanned. I've done both. I'll show you this one I did on the computer, but this I hand drew and scanned. Because you can see, you know, this is very, very rough, you know, and all my things don't quite match up. But yeah, so those are by hand. So, but thanks. Oh yes, please ask me any questions anytime. And I know I tend to go fast because I want to make sure we have plenty of time to get to our sketch notes. So if I'm going too fast, you just slow me down. So let's talk about supplies though. So, and then, you know, until you're really sure, I would maybe encourage you, you don't really need to go out and spend a ton of money. So at Walmart, you can get this for about $4. And I love this because it's nice, heavy paper. It's 50-pound paper, and it's just blank. And I like this size because this size is a little intimidating if you're first starting out. Okay, a blank piece of paper, let's face it, is just intimidating. Like, oh, what do I do? What if I make an ugly mark? It's okay, we're just gonna make a heart out of it and move on, right? We're gonna just make a squiggle out of it. It's gonna be fine, move on. Again, remember, we don't have to show these to anybody. We are not putting these online unless we choose to. We're not entering an art contest, and they're not going to be hung in a museum. These are just for you to learn whatever it is you want to learn. So anyway, so $4 investment, right? And you all are using the Sharpie pen. And then Micron is another good pen. I'll pass this one around. This is an 03, and this Micron has a series of tips between a 005 and a 01, and the 01 is a thicker tip. This is an 03, which is kind of in medium. So Micron, so you want permanent ink pens, because the thing I don't like about flares is you write and then you decide to highlight it and it just smears. And then you're just like, oh, it was such a great sketch note and now it's all smeared, and then you're all frustrated. So I think just making an investment in, so a pencil, a notebook, and a permanent pen. That's really the minimum stuff that you need. And if you have a highlighter hanging around, that's great. So if you wanted to do more, here's a moleskin. So these are about $20, and this is a dotted grid. So I would recommend either blank, a dotted grid, or graph paper. No lines, because lines you tend to want to write more and you won't draw as much. So even if you're a natural sketcher, just consider, or maybe use that book up and then the next one up. So anyway, and then this is a Leichtrum, which I have it there, Leichtrum 1917. So you can see it's just a little bit bigger than the moleskin. It's also about $20. They both come in hard and soft covers. So I'll pass this one around. And that's got the dot grid. This also has a dot grid. So this is my take with me, you know, sit in the doctor's office, and like sometimes I just practice my drawing by like just getting a magazine and, let's see, I know I did this one. Somewhere. And you know, and I just drew anything that was interesting in the magazine, just to kind of practice my skills. So that's what this one is, so I'll pass that around so you can see that as well. Sometimes Walmart has it, so I actually prefer this little bit bigger size, and you can get this size in moleskin for sure. This is also dot grid, but these were like $8 at Walmart. but they're kind of hard to find now because they were like in school time, like in the fall. So maybe you'll find them again in the fall, but it's like, oh, I just kind of like the soft cover and the dot grid. So this is what I'm taking my sketch notes in this year. So any meetings that I've been in, so those are just my sketch notes for this year.
What's the benefit to dot grid versus graph versus blank?
I prefer the dot grid because it does have some structure. If I want to draw something square or a house, I think that, okay, I can go up 3 dots over 4 dots and make something that's actually square versus not so square. So that's really the only benefit. It kind of just gives you a little bit more structure. But anyway, but anything that's not line is approved in my opinion. So I also, if you wanted to do more Prismacolor, because you'll notice the papers are very thin, and so they're not going to take a wet medium, and a lot of times the markers are going to just bleed right through, and you're going to be really frustrated if you had something on the previous page and like, now that sketch note's ruined. So I like the Prismacolors because they don't have a lot of wax in it. It's just like butter on paper. It's like, oh, I love it. And you can mix them, take one color and put it, layer over another color and kind of get some different effects. So feel free to use these. I'll pass these around as well. And so it's just giving you tools. That's probably a $30 set. So that is an investment, but if you're really into sketchnoting and you're going to be all in, it's probably worth the investment. But maybe first sketch note out of the gate, maybe not. So, questions? Might be always good to have tape. Yes.
Sorry.
No.
Would you, so if you're practicing, do you sketch it in pencil and then outline it, or do you just go with permanent marker?
I go. And I could totally understand maybe first time out, maybe you want to do it in pencil. But the chances of you, I kind of started out doing that way, but the chances of me ever finding time to go back and really do it, it never happens. So I just decided, you gotta go with it. There are times when somebody brings something up, it's like, oh, that image is not in my vocabulary, so I'll just write camel or whatever it is, or I don't know how to draw, fear, create, whatever the word is, and I'll just kind of pencil it in, leave space, go on, so I'm not missing whatever the speaker is saying for the next part, and then I might go just draw that one thing when I get home. And yeah, so just be brave, get it out there. It's okay, because really, again, nobody needs to see this except you, right? So we're not doing an art project. So yeah, so sometimes you might get something that you might want to put in your book, so having some tape or some double-sided little sticks could be helpful, but again, it's not something you really have to carry with you. You could, just know that I'm going to tape this in. I'm going to leave space for this and tape it in when I get home. That totally works. So, all right, talked about everything. So pencil, highlighter, Sharpie, permanent pen, yeah, eraser. So those are just simple. So we don't have to make a huge investment in getting things going. So, all right. So just remember, Mike Rohde, so I have lots of books too. So Mike Rohde is the, I forgot home. Anyway, he actually he coined the term sketchnoting. And so he's written 2 books, and this is basically how to sketchnote, and his other one is a workbook. And so, do you want me to pass? I'll pass this. Anyway, got all this stuff passed around. So, anyway, so he coined the term "ideas, not art," and it really is about capturing ideas and not making art. And so, so you got to get over whatever it is, why you don't feel like you're an art person. So, this is my son. He's 29 now, but I'm still a fashion statement, right? I even noticed last night he doesn't even have the same socks on. But, he is pretty hot stuff on a stick. He is, and he was a very confident child. And his Sunday school teacher just told me this like a year ago that he was about this age, and they were all supposed to draw something and then talk about their drawing, but the girl right before him was like several years, like 2 or 3 years older, and she was an artist, and he was so intimidated when he saw her picture. He threw his in the trash can and went and sat in the corner and wouldn't participate. And so I wish I had known that, because I just thought, oh, he's just not much of an art person, but I just thought, I would have maybe helped him over that. Have something in our past where we've maybe compared our beginning to somebody else's middle. I think they've heard that several times now. And we tend to do that. And it's like, oh, they're so good. Well, you don't really understand. I've seen all the hours and hours of practice that they've put in to be able to do that. So one thing I'm working on is my calligraphy. So I follow a lot of people that do calligraphy. And then sometimes I'm like, that is so photoshopped. There's no way that they could do that with these. I have these exact pens. There's, even if I was that talented, so I can see that. So don't believe everything you see on Instagram. So I guess I put it that way. So, but you got to just get over it and just understand, I'm here to learn. I'm not here to do art. So here's the process. We want to listen, and we want to start synthesizing what we're hearing, and then we're going to draw, and then we're going to write. So that is the process of how we do sketchnoting. So again, don't worry. Anyway, so we're gonna do sketchnoting here pretty quick. So here's the anatomy of a sketchnote. So a lot of times it's great to get there a few minutes early, like in the sermon. It's like good if they have a bulletin, then I know what the topic is going to be about. So I will, and you'll see I misspelled anatomy. And then I realized, when I got it all done, I went, that doesn't look right. Oh, duh. So I decided, you know what, it's okay. So if you make mistakes, I just put a little A in there, and it's spelled correctly now. So, but you want to put the title up, and until you're comfortable writing, we just want to keep our letters very blocky, very simple, straightforward, nothing fancy. And then when you get comfortable with that, and then again, I would also encourage you to start printing. So if you normally take notes, I know it may feel like it's going to slow you down at first, but just print your notes. I just encourage you to print your notes and not use handwriting, not use script. But at the beginning, you can add the speaker's name, the date, location, and the title. And then, and you'll see it. A lot of sketchnoters like to draw a little portrait of the speaker. Like, I'm not there. You're going to see I'm such a stick figure girl. I'm just not, I don't do the portraits. But, but if we're talking about dogs, maybe I'll put a dog up in the corner. But whatever we're talking about, if you can find an image, then that'd be great. And then you can see that we want to just capture the big ideas. And so I have numbers, 1, 2, 3. Here's 3 big ideas. And then from this idea, you can see that we have maybe 4 points to it. So, I just kind of connected my boxes with arrows so you can kind of see a flow as to where we're supposed to go here. And then up here you can see I use bubbles and call-out boxes for those aha moments, or those, here's another little important tip, or here's a piece of information that gets connected with that. And so that kind of use these call-out boxes, make the title bold, and then here's use bubbles for call-out boxes. And then maybe a point 3, maybe it talks about an apple, so I do a very simple image to kind of relate that. And then when we're done, then I'm going to put some kind of separator to know that, okay, we're moving on to a different topic, and so here's my other topic. I had a great idea, so I tend to draw a light bulb colored in yellow, and that way when I go back, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to capture that idea and put it in my to-do list, or put it in my file for future ideas, whatever. And we're going to talk about a legend on how you capture those things quickly. We can make subpoints with bullets, and then, so here's my big tip. Here's my tip of the day. It's totally free. When you are going to write things in boxes or bubbles, write out what you're going to write first, and then draw the box around it. Because even though I'll draw that box big enough, and I get halfway through it, and it's like, I still have half a word to write. So always write what you're going to write, and then draw the shape around it. So I'm going to be a lot happier. So, all right. And then here are the elements. So these are the tools in the toolbox. So we're going to develop a legend, which I'm not really going to speak much about that. So I'm on page 4. So a legend is something that just sort of needs to develop organically. And actually, I think I've got it. Yeah, I think I'll just go right. Okay, so, oops. So the pastor's talking about, I do a lot of sermon sketch notes. A movie or a book, then I have legends like, okay, if I want to memorize this verse, then I draw a little lock there, or if I want to do more research, I have a magnifying glass, You know, if it's a check, it's something I need to do, if here's an idea. So these sort of need to just develop organically as you take notes, like, oh, I'm always drawing that, or I'm always, how do I, you know, so you're just gonna come up with little icons that you'll know that when you got a little light bulb, you know that's an idea. And then that way you're not getting caught up into the, oh, I've got to draw this thing, or I've got to draw this movie, or whatever it is. I can just make a little note, and I'm not going to miss what the speaker is telling me. And so the icon just needs to be things that are important to you, things that speak to you, that are going to help you be more efficient in your note taking. So these tools that we're going to talk about are really to help you be more efficient in your note taking. So they're arrows in your quiver that you can pull out and use whenever you need them. So lettering, we talked about lettering. So we just want to keep this really, see, and her titles are very black letters, very simple. She has used some shading here, and when you get comfortable enough, you'll go down that road. But just keep everything super simple until you're ready. And the more you see, you'll say, oh, I like the way this person did that, and I like the way that person did that. And maybe I'll just try this, just try one thing in the next sketch notes. Okay, I'm gonna try shading my boxes this time. That's all I'm gonna do. And then maybe next time I'm gonna, you know, maybe try and make a little more bold letters, that kind of thing. So we could probably spend a whole class just on lettering, probably more than one class just on lettering. So, but just to start with, just make sure your letters are big and bold and really clean, simple letters. And then you can actually start making them bigger, giving them more weight, you know, kind of doing more things with them, but that's phase 2. So you can also use colors. And so I like this one because he's used to use orange and pink. Okay, you may not like those two together, but that's okay. My sister can't stand those two together. So, and then he's kind of used a gray to kind of give it some shading. So, but just keep your colors really simple, 1 or 2 colors, maybe 3 tops. And then eventually you might want a gray marker, a gray brush marker to help you shade and give things a little more detail and depth. So, bullets and numbers. Again, these are to help us capture the main points. Our numbers, or maybe we just want to use bullets, and so you can get very creative. And so, yeah, I think I'm moving on to the next page. So I tried to give you, you know, so there's, look at my page, 8 and 9. So there's no way we have time to do all this stuff today, but I'm just trying to give you ideas. So when you're at home, I don't know how to draw here, I don't know what to do. So here's some real basic things. So, you know, here's a way you can kind of connect some information. You can just keep drawing those down, or maybe you want to put something on a flag if it's really important, or act like you're taping a piece of paper around the corners of your boxes. And then you've got arrows, and again, just keep it really simple. And there's this, like, I don't know how to draw that. So I have I like these 5x7 Post-it note, or these would be index cards, that I just keep in my bag as well. And I also have a bag that I carry all my sketch notes, and so when I'm ready to go sketch notes somewhere, it's all in a bag, and I don't have to find, like, where did I put that? It's all ready to go. So anyway, I carry some of these in case it's like, I want you to practice, or, you know, so anyway, again, just no cheating here. It's all works, whatever works to help you to learn the material. So, all right, and so again, you can see that I use my numbers here. We saw this before, and then I have a lot of, see, I have an idea there. But you can kind of see that, you know, I've kind of drawn things when it makes sense. But you can see, you can definitely tell where my main points are because I've got my numbers going on. All right. So this is a person that used a to-do list, and so you can see he used arrows that kind of help understand the flow of where things go on how to make a to-do list. This person, learning something in the first 20 hours, you can see that these 4 points go to this, and so these all flow to these boxes, but then you can see he's got these boxes connected, so you can see there's definitely a flow, and then we've got some more points. And you can see he's just drawn really simple things. He's got a lot of writing going on, but he's got some very simple little images and icons to help him remember those points. So now it comes down to drawing. Whew. Everything that we draw is made up of these 7 images. Lines, circles, half circles, spirals, zigzag, an S-curve. It's not a curve, it's an S-curve, and a paisley. So I drew this by hand and it's scanned it in. Everything is made up of those images. So, and again, remember, we're keeping things really simple. Everybody can draw a circle and a triangle. So, where's my triangle? Where's the triangle? Oh, maybe that's the zigzag. That's what's going on. All right, everybody can draw a circle and a triangle. All right, I'm going to show you my dog, cat, lion. Ready? Okay. So I'm going to draw a triangle, right? And then I'm going to draw kind of a half a circle because I got to get ready for my dog. So I'm going to draw an oval. So there's my dog, right? And then I'm going to put in his legs, which I'm going to do like 2 paisleys, or it can maybe even a heart, but 2 paisleys, kind of like that, or 2 half circles, maybe is a better way to say it. So, got his legs going on. Then I'm going to draw 3 lines, and then I'm going to put kind of a half circle. So now you got his feet. So that's the basic body of a dog, cat, lion. So here's the cat, there's the dog. We'll put the face on. Right? So basically 2 circles, a nose, something like that. So if it's a cat, he's got whiskers, not whiskers on that side. And if he's a lion, he looks like that, right? So basically we take a circle, a triangle, put some legs on it, and we can make it a dog, we can make it a cat, we can make it a lion, we can make it a lot of animals. Really simple. So is there anything, so everybody can do that, right? Everybody can do a circle, everybody can do a triangle. So again, we're not making art, we're making ideas. So if we're talking, something about lions and, an article on lions or whatever, then we know how to draw a lion. Just, it doesn't have to be fancy and nobody has to see it but us. So, simple. So, there it is. So, again, make a house, take a circle and a triangle. We can make a house, there's my cat, here's my angel. So this is a half circle, a circle, another little circle, and 2 half circles for the feet. And then I just kind of did a little, bunch of little half circles together, little cloud squiggly to get my angel. So, and there's nothing wrong with you Googling stick figure angel and going, oh, I'll do it this way. Nothing wrong with that. Remember, there's no cheating here. Everything works. And so here's my people. So I call these bean people, and I know that we have necks, but bean people do not have necks. And it's just it's a thing, the way they're just developed. Anyway, but their arms just look better coming out of right at the top where the necks go. And this actually I did on the computer. And so basically it's 2 circles. We put a little face, we draw hands, and we got legs. And if you want to make this a triangle to make it a dress, you can do all kinds of things with those people. We're not going to spend a lot of time drawing people today. And then we have faces. So when we have things going more vertical, we can see that they're not so happy. And then we have happy. And again, nothing wrong with Google. Happy stick figure, happy face. Nothing wrong with that. I don't know how to draw sad or depressed or confused. And so nothing wrong with you practicing. All right, so now we're gonna sketch it. Are you guys ready?
Ready.
So we are going to draw a recipe. We are going to draw the Benjamin Franklin breakfast bowl. So don't start yet. So, and this is what it looks like, right? I looked to see something that it was like simple enough that I could even fix without messing up. So basically, it's apples and yogurt and granola. Okay, so we're gonna put that together. So the first thing we're going to do is, so I'm going to, don't quite write yet. We are going to center the title. So we're going to break it up in between Benjamin Franklin and breakfast bowl. We're going to put Benjamin Franklin on the top row and breakfast bowl on the bottom row. And we're going to center it, okay? So you all should have little dotted lines, okay? And so it starts with this. So we're going to find the middle point of our phrase, and then we're going to start lettering right, and then we're going to letter left. That's how we center something. So I'll show you how that's done. So we have Benjamin Franklin, and I happen to know that it is 17 characters, and so the middle character is character 9, which is the space. And so you want to count the spaces as well, if I didn't say that. And for breakfast bowl, it is 14 spaces, and that's the middle. So we got 7 on one side and 7 on the other. Okay? So I'm going to show you how to do this, and then you're going to go do it. So we're going to start out with the top line. So we're just going to go ahead and write Franklin, and then we're going to go backwards, which is not easy. All right? We're going to go backwards and type in Benjamin and go that way. All right? And we're just same thing with breakfast bowl. Right? And then we're going to go backwards. And then we have breakfast bowl. All right. How you feeling? Any questions? Good? All right. Go to it. Nice big letters. And try and make your letters touch from the top of the bold line to the bottom of the bold line.
Your tongue hanging out your mouth.
I tend to have the next letter in my brain and then I forget. Like, and that's what happened with anatomy. It's like I was just thinking of the N and I forgot the A in anatomy. So, but it's not easy, but this is going to, you're going to be happy, at least that not every time do you want to center things, but there will be times that you want to center things and now you know how to do it. So you're just going to count all the spaces, count all the letters and spaces, add them up, divide by 2. That middle point is where you're going to start to the right, and then you're going to finish to the left. How are you feeling? All right?
How do you do this while you're listening?
That's right.
Well, mostly the titles. And so if I was listening, I probably wouldn't do it. It's like if I get in, I've already done the title. It's already done. If I know what's going on, or
Gotcha.
if you're at somewhere and you don't know the title, then maybe you're just going to write it in pencil, leave space, move on, and then go back. And so the less you have to do when you're done, the happier you're going to be because you're probably not going to make time to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So. All right. Are we ready to move on? Okay. All right. So now we're going to draw Ben, and this one I did on the computer. So I'm going to actually draw him over here, I think, because I tried to do it step by step, and it's like, okay, I don't have a week and a half, so we're just going to make it work. So I'm just going to kind of put this over here. All right, so let's just talk about our shapes. So we have basically a triangle, and we have a square. That's his body, a triangle and a square. We can do this. We're just going to round the corners of the triangle, right? Because you might look a little weird with it pointy, okay? So here we go. We are going to make a big triangle, kind of make it fat, kind of give him some jowls, I guess. Kind of maybe a Hershey kiss, kind of make it look like that. And then I'm going to come straight down, and I'm not going to give him a very tall body, and I'm just going to finish that square. All right? Triangle, square. So far, so good.
It's like a cupcake.
It does look like a cupcake. Right. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is going to do the face. So we're going to do 2 big circles for the eyes and a smaller circle for the nose. It's don't put his eyeballs in yet, okay? Because we got to put his glasses on. So I'm going to draw 2 circles and his nose. Okay? So 3 circles, we got that. Nothing, all right, we got it. And I'm just going to go ahead and give him a smile. And that would be a half circle. All right, so the next thing is the glasses. All right, so he's got to have glasses sitting on his nose. So those are going to be little squares at the bottom of his eyes, like that. And then we're just going to connect it with a half circle. All right, so I just did a square and a square at the bottom of his eyeballs, and just connected with the little piece that goes with your glasses. I don't know what that's called. And then I'm going to put his eyeballs above that. So he's looking at me, not through his glasses. All right, so I put his eyes up here. So far, so good?
So good.
All right, then we're going to give him some ears, 2 half circles, kind of right kind of parallel with the ears. I mean, your ears, I guess those are a little lower, but his ears are a little high. So, all right, then we're gonna give him some hair because we know he had long hair. So I'm just gonna start here and I'm just gonna do a squiggly line on both sides. And I'm just gonna bring that to where the square starts, somewhere in that neighborhood. Again, nothing's perfect here, right? No contest, there's no contest here. So, all right, so it's looking like Ben, right? Pretty good?
Más o menos.
I'm sorry, what?
I said más o menos, more or less.
More or less, okay. All right, let's do his feet. So we're gonna draw a straight line down, and then I'm gonna come over, kind of make a square, but I'm not gonna close it. Do that on both sides, and then I'm just gonna draw a straight line up. So I drew a line down the middle, then I came over to make one boot, kind of with a rectangle, but I didn't close it, and then I joined it with a line to bring it up to the bottom of his body. And I did the same on the other side, and then I'm just gonna draw a little line across. And now he's got boots. Okay? All right, then we just need to draw his, so I'm gonna draw a triangle for his coat. And I'm not gonna give his coat any lapels or anything fancy. And then I'm just gonna draw a straight line down. And then I'm gonna put some buttons. If you wanna make the buttons, you can. I didn't have room up there on the screen. All right, and then if you wanted to give him like a little frilly collar, I'm just gonna do a little squiggly line right there, just right under his chin. All right, now what we're gonna do is the arms. So the arms are gonna be two straight lines, and then I just kind of do a little cloud, right? Two straight lines, two parallel lines, and a little cloud. And then, of course, it's Ben Franklin and discovered electricity, so we have to do a little diamond shape up here, right? And then we're just gonna bring it down, and then I'm gonna make the line go behind his hand, right? And then I decided, then you could put a little string, more little triangles for the kite. What do you call those? I forget.
The tail.
The tail, thank you. And now we got Benjamin Franklin. How did we do? All right, we can do this. We got this. We got this.
That's adorable.
All right,
I'm gonna
see?
do this for my kids tonight. Too, so.
You know, drawing with your kids is so amazing.
Uninhibited.
It is, because my nephew's family came up and they have a 5-year-old, and so she liked to draw. So anytime there's a kid that likes to draw, I sit down and so I showed her how to draw the dog, cat, lion, and we also drew a cow or something else. And then she's like, "Now I'm going to show you how to do a mermaid princess." No, it looks like this. It was just the best time. So drawing with kids is great, you know. So, all right. And so if you wanted to color in Ben, you could. So again, I did all that, you know. So simple. Keep it really simple. So the colors I used on my breakfast bowl, which I'll show you at the end, looks like this. I just used primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, and a little brown. So, all right, so we're ready to move on. So if you wanted, and this is totally up to you now, so if you wanted in this space, right here, if you wanted to write something, because it's Benjamin Franklin, early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Block letters. So right there, and I know I didn't give you any lines to do it with, I know. So that dotted line, so I just put like, you know, with an arrow on both sides, just to kind of differentiate that we're starting something new. So here was a little quote from Benjamin Franklin, and now we're going to start the recipe. All right? We may go over a little past 1:15. Is that all right? I'm happy to send you notes back to your boss. Please excuse for being late because we were sketchnoting. I'd be happy to do that. So, but we shouldn't be too much longer past that. And I'm happy to stay as long as you need. If there's something you have questions, you want me to draw, you can do that. Let me know when you're done. And so again, this one we're just writing, And we're just gonna start a second line to get the rest of that quote in, but we're practicing our letters. All right, ready to move on? I can come back to that screen if you're still writing. Okay. So now, the next line, right under that dotted line, we're going to note the source, which of this recipe is from Food Wishes, and it makes 1 serving, and our prep time is 5 minutes. So we're going to just write that. I guess I will show you this. So I wrote it right under my arrow, just right, I'm going to cross the page, and again, we're just practicing our letters. I wrote, sorts Food Wishes, makes 1 serving, prep time 5 minutes. All right, how are we doing? All right. So now we're going to go on to the ingredients, and we'll talk about those ingredients here. So we have 1 cold apple, 6-ounce plain sheep's milk yogurt. I can't say I've ever had sheep's milk yogurt, but I'm game for anything. 2 heaping tablespoons of granola and optional additional nuts, fresh fruit, or seeds. Okay, so let's put those in. I'm going to bring this one over here. These are the best things. So glad you had these. So we can not only write these, we can illustrate them. And so here's an opportunity for us to use bullet points. I think that would be great. So I decided to use kites, but you don't have to. So I thought, oh, kind of keeping it with the whole Benjamin Franklin thing. So write the word ingredients. All right, and maybe underline that. Okay, and then our first ingredient, I'm going to draw a little kite, and then I'm going to say cold apple. And I'm going to draw an apple. All right, an apple is not just a circle, it's got that weird little thing, it's kind of, it's got things so it can sit flat on the table, right? So, so my apple goes up, and then I kind of make my apple look like that. So it's kind of room for the little feet, and then if you wanted to draw a stem and a leaf, that kind of makes it more, if we know what an apple looks like, we can do that. All right, I'm not really going to take time to address the cold, but if you really wanted to, you could maybe draw ice cubes around it. It'd be a choice. 6 ounces of plain sheep's milk yogurt. Okay, let's write that. And how could we illustrate that? Anybody got any ideas? We could draw?
Picture of a sheep.
We could draw a picture of a sheep. We got this. We got this. All right, so I'm going to draw another kite because it's another bullet point. And then I'm going to write 6 ounces sheep's. And I'm going to maybe leave myself a little room over here. I'm going to maybe make this 2 lines. I'm going to write 6 ounces sheep's milk yogurt. And so I have a little room over here. I think I actually draw, I left you a little space. This really faint oval is where you're going to draw your sheep. So, all right, so we're going to start over here, and we're going to make a U. Okay, going to make his face. We're going to make a face, a U. And we're just going to go ahead and put a little smiley face in there. And then we're going to do 2 leaves on the side for his little ears. And then we're going to do a little cloud on the top. And we got a sheep. We're not done yet. We can stop there, right? Because we know that's a sheep. But now we're just gonna draw a circle, but we're gonna make it a cloud circle. And so I started just a little above the ear, and then I ended kind of in his, like right under the chin. And then I'm gonna draw legs, which is just a little stick with a circle at the bottom. And then I might do a little spirals, and we got a sheep, right? So we have a U, circle, couple of sticks, piece of cake.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to practice that one.
You don't have to show this to anybody, right?
I was
You
Not a soul.
You do not have to post this on Instagram. This is not a requirement of the class. All right. So the next thing we're going to draw is 2 heaping tablespoons of yogurt. So, no, granola. All right. So, all right. So 2 heaping tablespoons, and I'm probably going to, again, granola. All right, so we're going to start, and we're going to make a half circle, and we're going to fill in we're going to make 2 basically half circles, and then we're just going to kind of make a little triangle, and then we're going to make another little half circle behind it, and another little heap, right? So there's our 2 heaping tablespoons, and then we're just going to draw the rest of the spoon. And now we have 2 heaping tablespoons of granola.
I know. That's pretty genius.
Easy, easy. So if you just start looking at objects and getting them down to their line, circle, triangle, S-curve, what's the basic shape of this thing that we're looking at? And you can start looking at that. It's going to be a lot easier to draw these little stick figures. All right, and then we have optional, additional fruits, nuts. Oh, I forgot to tell you something. All right, so you could do optional. So we could do fresh fruits, nuts, and seeds. And you could just do little scribbles here, and you're going to get the point. So you know, you just do 2 little half circles together, pointed, and we know those are almonds. Or do a half circle, and then we know that's a strawberry. So basically, I did a round circle. I came in, kind of made a triangle, and I got a strawberry. Or you could do 3 little things together, and we know, color those blue, we got blueberries. So again, when we, you know, and then seeds are just 2 little dots. So we have an opportunity for a call-out box, if you want, totally fine. If you have room around your apple, did you know the most popular apple in the world is the Red Delicious apple? Do we like Red Delicious apples? No, not so much? Oh,
Great spoon.
a great spoon, all right. Well, the cool thing about Red Delicious apples, not only are they the most popular apple in the world, they were developed right here in Missouri at the Stark Brothers Nursery up 79 on Louisiana. They are the ones that cultivated the Red Delicious apple. So if that was interesting to you, if it was like, Miss, you're not at a Red Delicious, so forget it. But you could do Red Delicious apples are from Missouri. Trying to write fast, so we still got to get the recipe done. And then I would just connect that. So that's just a call-out button, something interesting. Or maybe here's a call-out button would be bubble here. We would want fresh fruits and not dried fruits because dried fruits add extra sugar. So maybe that could be a call-out box if you wanted. So just giving you options, and you can kind of see how to use these various tools. All right? So And then this is what it looks like when it's done. All right, so what I did is the procedures, then I went up and I drew some apples, and then I drew my yogurt, and then I just kind of drew my granola, and then the fresh fruits. And then I drew, so this is my bowl, drew a napkin, a little cup of coffee or tea or whatever it is that you have in the morning. So, all right?
This is really fun.
All right, okay.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So,
Fun stuff.
yeah, and then I decided to sketch note the granola recipe. So if you all want to take a granola recipe, you'll have that. And then I will send the breakfast bowl to Brittany. And if this is something interesting, I am happy to do this again so we can maybe work our way up to a TED Talk, maybe a short TED Talk and kind of talk through that. But I think until you understand the flow and you understand the tools, so it's just about practicing. So, yeah, so thank you so much. This has been so much fun. You have been amazing. Yeah, willing to engage, and I totally appreciate that. So, yeah, keep in touch. Feel free to reach out with questions.
This is
Okay.
Thank you.